Interest rates suck, but I really need a home. Are they coming down or what? Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Antonio Anselmi, the most trusted name in real estate. Today I'm coming to you August 29th, 2023, the day of Hurricane Idalia. I hope I said that right. And this is what you call the calm before the storm. And to be honest, I can't think of a better way to describe the real estate market today. Now, if you don't want to sit through this video and you have a question, you can always reach out to me directly, either call or text 727-534-4569. Today we're taking a look at mortgage interest rates from their historical trends to their current market scenario, and even a glimpse into what 2024 might hold. Thanks for watching. If you would, please hit the like and subscribe button so that others will see this video as well. Let's start by looking back at mortgage rates and their historical fluctuations over the years. Now, interest rates have experienced highs and lows, often mirroring the economy's performance. Factors like inflation, economic growth, and global events have all played their part. Freddie Mac, the leading source of mortgage rates in the U.S., first began keeping records in 1971. Between then and now, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage average is just under 8% at 7.74%. Now, the highest rate of the same type of mortgage was 16.63% in 1981, followed by its next highest figure of 16.04% in 1982. The 1980s saw the worst year for mortgage interest rates to date. The average mortgage rate in 1981 was 16.63%. So how bad did it get for home buyers? Well, at a rate of 16.63%, a mortgage costing $200,000 would come with a monthly payment cost for principal and interest of $2,800. The long-term average mortgage rate of 7.74%, meanwhile, would equal just $1,300 a month. Some Americans actually paid a higher mortgage rate that year. The week of October 9th, 1981 saw mortgage rates average 18.63%, which is the highest mortgage rate on record. So if you're wondering what happened to bring about all these rates, well, the U.S. went through a recession. Also in 1980 was an election year. Recessions and major economic turmoil tend to typically happen around election years for some reason. It's uncanny. During the brief 1980 recession, January through July, goods producing industries lost 1.4 million jobs, while the service sector gained 310,000 jobs. Now, this movement yielded a net loss of 1.1 million jobs, or 1.2% of employment in all industries. Let's fast forward to 2008. In 2008, we had the last year of the mortgage meltdown. Now, according to Freddie Mac, in 2008, mortgages were available for 6.03%, and excluding tax and insurance, the monthly cost for a $200,000 home loan was $1,200. After 2008, mortgage rates began a steady decline. Now, as we know this to be the Great Recession, also an election year. Weird, huh? Maybe someone should look into that. And between 2008 and 2011, we saw home values drop by a whopping 19%. And we also, if you watch my other videos, you would see that over 54% of home builders left the market. Most of them were involuntarily, bankruptcy. Until 2021, 2016 saw the all-time lowest mortgage rates in the U.S. The typical mortgage rate in 2016 was priced at around 3.65%, according to Freddie Mac. That means the mortgage of $200,000 home loan had a monthly cost for principal and interest of just $915. That's $500 less than the long-term average. Note, however, that mortgage rates had actually fallen lower in 2012. In November of that year, the average mortgage rate hit 3.31%. But since some of 2012 was higher, the entire year averaged 3.65% for a 30-year mortgage. Now, here's why we can't hold too much faith in what the experts say. Because we did see that they were incorrect during a certain president's administration before. In 2019, many of these experts said we would see rising mortgage rates, and contrary to these predictions, mortgage rates dropped in 2019, and in 2018, economists forecasted that mortgage rates would rise to 5.5%. However, mortgage rates went from 4.54% in 2018 to 3.94% the following year. The monthly cost of a home loan of $200,000 at that rate was just $948. When compared to the 8% long-term average, that would be a savings of over $500 a month. In 2019, experts also predicted that mortgage rates would not drop any lower than 3.94%, but this also was another incorrect prediction that the experts got wrong when rates dropped again in 2020 and 2021. Now, we all know what happened in 2021 when the tyrannical governments picked and chose the businesses that could remain open and which people were essential, and forced us to wear face diapers and take an experimental gene therapy that didn't work. But I digress. Let's forget about 2021. Now, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, mortgage rates dropped in 2020 and 2021, and in July 2020, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage dropped below 3% for the first time ever. By January 2021, the rate fell to a record low of 2.65%. The average rate for the entire year was just 2.96%, not counting taxes and insurance. That would mean the average monthly cost for a $200,000 loan would be just $806. It also represents a savings of nearly $700 per month compared to the 8% long-term average. Now, this made homeownership a possibility for many who never thought that it would be possible. I was able to write a mortgage for a 3-bed, 2-bath house for someone who worked at Publix as a grocery person. Now, these record rates were due largely in part to the COVID-19 policies from the Federal Reserve that were especially accommodating. Now, however, these were not meant to be long-term. They were only meant to be short-term. Mortgage rates jumped again in 2022 due to multiple factors: sharp inflation growth, higher benchmark rates, and a drawback on mortgage stimulus by the Federal Reserve were all top contributors to that spike. Now, according to Freddie Mac, the average 30-year mortgage rate went from 3.22% in January to a high of 7.08% in October. We also saw inflation peak in June of last year at 9.1% and slowly decrease throughout the year. Mortgage rates in 2023 have continued to increase while the Federal Reserve does everything that they can to battle against inflation. Now, as of July 2023, the current reported inflation rate sits at 3.2%, edging closer to its 2% mark that the Federal Reserve hopes to hit. The benchmark interest rate rose 5 percentage points since the Federal Reserve started its rate hikes in March of last year. Now, there are many out there that believe the actual inflation rate to be much higher. In 1983, the inflation calculation switched from tracking mortgages and other housing costs to tracking owner's equivalent rent, making the measurement less volatile. Now, the idea was that homes are an investment and that the owners eventually can cash out on the appreciated price of their home and sell for a profit. So we would see much higher rates using the old formulation as we see in the chart from shadowstats.com. Now, during the first week of 2023, the average 30-year mortgage rate hit 6.48%, fluctuating to land at 6.69% by mid-June, according to Freddie Mac. Predicting the exact trajectory of mortgage rates is challenging, yet if we can glean insights from economic forecasts, experts suggest that the rate might remain relatively steady due to ongoing economic recovery efforts. Experts suggest that the recent consecutive rate hikes might be settling down and anticipate that rates will drop below 6%. Whether this is likely to happen in 2023 or 2024 remains to be seen. Wells Fargo predicts that rates will continue to decrease slightly throughout the second half of 2023, hitting 6.45% by the second quarter of 2024. We could see rates closer to 6%, while Mortgage Bankers Association predicts the 30-year fixed rate mortgage to be 6.2% by the end of the year and down to 5% by the end of next year. Now, with 2025 outlook being 4.6%, so that's some really good news. NAR, the National Association of Realtors, is predicting much of 2024 to hang around 6%. Of course, as of today, August 28th, we're sitting at a little over 8%. With the current 30-year conventional mortgage, and that's gone in the opposite direction of what the experts have predicted. However, experts remain optimistic, so let's hope that they maybe got this one right and we might see some lower rates. Variables like government policies, unforeseen events like the pandemic, and we might be having another one, I guess, this fall, and market dynamics could sway this projection. I do agree with self-made real estate millionaire Barbara Corcoran, and you can check my past videos on here and other social media, when she says that U.S. home prices won't fall, but could jump 10 to 15% if mortgage rates dip. And we've seen rates hover right around 8% for most of this year, and home prices continue to inch upwards in 2023 as the supply of homes is estimated to be short between 4 million, according to Freddie Mac, and over 7 million homes, according to the National Low Income Housing Coalition, in order to keep up with the estimated number of new households that are forming each year. When we do see rates come down, expect to see a large number of home buyers enter back into the market, and we will once again see bidding wars, multiple offers over ask, people offering their firstborn. It'll be a nightmare and a very tough situation for buyers getting into a home like we saw during the peak back in 21 and 22. So the decision to buy is a complex one. We don't have a magic 8-ball to predict the future, but we do have a good idea through current market data and past experience what to expect and what may lie ahead. Now, in the current market, you may still be able to get the seller to pay concessions towards closing costs, which could be used to buy down the rate of your loan. That way you have a lower interest rate if you plan on staying in your house for the life of the loan. Now, statistics show that people move about every 7 years, so if you don't plan on staying there that long, you don't say this is not my forever home, then your rate should not be of that much importance to you. Now, that money could be used for other things such as an emergency or whatever else you may have. So we're still in a market where you might be able to get concessions from the seller at close. When we get back into a competitive market like we saw in 21 and 22, concessions to closing were very, very, very rare unless you were getting an old fixer-upper that sat in the market for a while and was overpriced. But people were still overpaying for fixer-uppers. I will add on a side note that Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, has established new positions in 3 residential construction companies, Lennar, NVR, and D.R. Horton. Those stakes were valued at $17 million, $71 million, and $726 million respectively at the end of June. This is one of the most intelligent minds when it comes to the stock market and the U.S. economy, and one of the richest people in the world, let's not forget. So if he's making these investments, it's a pretty good chance that the housing market has some good days ahead. As we conclude our little chat on mortgage interest rates, remember, these rates are more than just numbers. They impact your financial decisions and homeownership dreams. Stay informed, consult professionals, and make choices that align with your goals and your financial situation. I believe that homeownership is the American dream, and all should have the opportunity of owning a home. This is why I love what I do. Now, if you found this information valuable, informative, insightful, engaging, please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, this is Antonio Anselmi, the most trusted name in real estate. Hug your kids, hug your family, have a blessed day, and if you have any questions, reach out to me, 727-534-4569.